Hello, ladies and gentlemen, both and neither. And I'm having some reverb, so we're going to put that on a nope. Welcome back to the next episode of Vast Reads Utter Crap. Today, we've got chapter 28 point something till I don't know how long an hour runs out of shipping mishaps, and then after our break, we will have chapter 28 of wow, I'm bad today. It's chapter 28 point something of The Not Immortal Blacksmith. I'm thinking the first book is actually going to be titled Touched by the Gods. Chapter 28 till however many we get through until 9 o'clock when I take my break. After the break, we will be watching. Yeah, we will be reading chapters 16 through 19 of Shipping Mishaps, which will actually bring us to the end of that novella, which will make me sad, because then I'll have to read 2 hours of Blacksmith, and I just don't know that I could really do that. We'll see how things go from here on forward. We were going to attempt to get Brother Proof in tonight, but that kind of fell through, mostly because I was playing video games and never got his computer set up properly for him. I hope he doesn't decide to curse me later. With that, we are going to have now a word from our sponsor, Bubba J. He has new equipment in stock.
Howdy y'all, it's your old pal Bubba J talking at you, and today I've got a different sort of announcement. You see, we bought a cheap jump ship from some guy named Bargain Bill, and, well, it was haunted. Now, Bargain Bill tried to sell me optional ghost insurance, and, well, you could call me old-fashioned for this one, but I just wasn't having it. So I went and called up Ghost X Incorporated, and I ordered a whole mess of modified shotguns that fire a special type of ammunition. Now, with our modified shotguns in hand, we loaded up the shells with rock salt and finely crushed up tacos. Never again will you have to worry about that poltergeist in cargo or that danged old demon in the bathroom. Why the bathroom? I don't know. We even kept seeing the same clown pop up all over the place. I didn't even know there were clown ghosts. But with our Ghost X brand ghost repellent shotguns loaded up with our special made anti-ghost taco shells, well, let's just say that we weren't worried a bit. And this is where you, the customer, come in. I tried to order 8 of these Ghost X brand anti-ghost weapons, and I messed up, and, I ordered 8 crates of them, is what I did. So now, here at Bubba J's Mechoplex, I'm passing the savings on to you. Plus, I gotta get rid of them in a hurry. You can come on down and pick one up at half price, and we'll hand you your first box of spicy salted ghost repellent taco power powder shells for free. And yes, we need a better name for it, I know. Disclaimer, the Ghost X heavily modified shotgun does not shoot actual shotgun shells, only canisters of rock salt and tiger's eye, and that one time I stuffed a bunch of Vienna sausage into it, made a big mess, and then I got fussed at. Do not operate while drinking alcohol. Do not use indoors, outdoors, in a spaceship, or on a boat. We are not affiliated with Ghost X Inc. I just bought a whole mess of these things on accident, and here we are.
And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the wondrous fun of Bubba J's commercials. They are always interesting to me. One of these days, he's actually going to tell me an address so we can all find out where we ordered the project's items from. I want to say it's Tukiad, but I don't think that's quite the right place. So, hey, Trenches, hi, how you doing, buddy? At least that means that someone is watching. Eventually, I'm sure more people will join us, but I doubt it. Looks at Fist, the spell ghost. Well, I do need to get close anyway. Yeah. Woohoo, snow has melted. I wish it had here. Well, not really. We've still got snow, but it's only like an inch deep. It's getting kind of annoying. And it's getting brown and nasty here in Minnesota. Well, here somewhere around the Twin Cities Metroplex, anyway. Alrighty. I'm just going to read this thing verbatim. Wrote it like 4 years ago. Don't shoot me. Chapter 28.5 The Not Immortal Blacksmith. Flashback. The Gun. Author's note. Welcome to the newest chapter variety, Flashbacks. Flashback episodes will come out intermittently and will attempt to fill in gaps previously found in the story. Yes, they are/were inspired by reading comments and reviews, as well as talking to a few friends. Hopefully this will help things along. They will come out whenever they are written. Consider them to be canon, just not placed correctly on the timeline. In other news, I will be adding dates to the journal episodes so people can more easily keep track of what is happening when. I would appreciate some input as to what incident people want to read about from the past chapters, so please comment, so I can keep these types of chapters coming. Alright, I need to remember to copy and paste this somewhere as a note to myself. So we'll just go like this. Yay, not that you can see my half of it here, but I'm copy pasting it into a, what is that, notepad? So I can keep these types, so please comment so I can keep these types of chapters coming. BL. P.S. The guy from Rio is the next one I plan on doing. And I don't think I ever got around to doing the Bard of Rio. So, this chapter is called The Gun. The revolver sat alone, almost forgotten under properly folded shirts in the back of a dresser drawer. It was a relatively simple thing, made from cold, hard steel and brass, its cylinders chambers packed with black powder and topped by a 44 caliber ball made from an amalgam of silver, lead, and cold iron. The primer caps were on all 6 of the cylinder's nipples, and the hammer rested gently on one. Stamped on the barrel were the words Colt Army Model 1860, and on the bottom of the grip, in a stilted hand, was scrawled 4max T. The words were all partially worn away from use, but still legible in the proper light. Its brother was tucked in the waistband of a blacksmith. Its previous owner, a veteran of the American Civil War, was long gone from this world, having returned home after his job here was done, and he left it and its brother behind to give its new owner a leg up on his competition. It sat and sat and sat. If it was actually able to think, it would have thought things like, I'm lonely, or I'm bored, or any of a dozen other things like that. But it couldn't think. Well, not really. Must be a comma after the well. What it could do was feel, and feel it did. It felt the loss of its first owner, whom it had been issued to almost immediately after its production, an owner who had used it and cared for it like an extension of his body, an owner that it had never failed, not once. It could feel its brother when it was nearby, could feel the smith in its brother's proximity. It felt them both this day as they came into the room they all shared. It felt the drawer slide open. It felt the smith's hand seek out its warm and polished grip. It almost felt joy when it was pulled out into the open air. And it felt relief when it heard the smith's voice. I think you've been in there too long. Time for a cleaning, and then to my holster you go. There have been some bad sorts around lately. Better safe than sorry. Alrighty. Now, with this one, we don't have to do any copy-paste, but we do need to do a spelling and grammar check. It to its, to its to its, brothers to brothers, room, comma, it's to its to its. Grammar and spelling check is complete. Yay! Alrighty, now we go to the next one, which is in theory number 29, which in theory, oh my lord, it's actually listed properly. I think I might have figured this out finally. Don't ask. 29, The Not Immortal Blacksmith, Chapter 9.5, Baker 3. I really need to redo these. Rorwell, Deep Fallsian Dominion, 7th of Anil, the first month of snow. 2,109 years since the new gods came. I am actually going to bring up Twitch itself so I can... Oh my lord, there's actually 3 people here, not just trenches. Damn, that's impressive. Alrighty, hi everybody, welcome, come in. Alright, I already read all that. Let's see. Oh, we do need to do a search function, damn it. Search, replace, we need to do this. Replace with that, because really hate those. If it wasn't for Reddit, I never would have had to put those in. If it wasn't for Reddit, I wouldn't have written anything. If it wasn't for my estranged wife, I also wouldn't have written anything, so we can all say thank you to her. She's a good gal, things didn't work out, you know how it goes. Alrighty. Alright. Now, view, spelling and grammar. Ignore. Recipes, she spoke. No, she does not spoke. She said. Up, ago, thereof. Late. No, God, why in the hell was I using that? Because I was dumb and young and thought it was funny. That's why I did that. Okay, spelling and grammar is done. Grammar! I miss her. I miss my grammar. Alright, all things said and done, I do actually miss my grandmother. She was a wonderful woman. Died at the age of 98 from cancer she had been fighting for... actively fighting for, I think, 2 years. It just kind of crept up out of nowhere. She had a very long life. Another woman who saw... no, actually, I think that she did miss some of the wagons. She caught the tail end of wagons on the prairie. And the very tail end. And saw the internet age. And the modern century we're in. I miss my Grandma Iola. Alright, back to the book. Rorwell, Deep Fallsian Dominion. 7th of Anil, the first month of snow. 2,109 years since the new gods came. I went to the library in town today. I was looking for some kind of old baking cookbook to find a new, old recipe to surprise Martha with. I was met by an older middle-aged gnome woman, and when I inquired about ancient baking recipes, she said she had just the thing in the stacks. When she came back with it, I could see just how old it was. The ancient leather binding was obviously not its first, as it barely covered the pages. No title was visible. Yep. Yes, I can talk today as usual, as it barely covered the pages. And no title was visible. Public cutbacks, go figure. As she signed me into the logbook, as well as the title I was as she signed me into the logbook, as well as the title I was borrowing, she told me the recipe. Ducky, I mean, you are making words just as poorly as you did during the game last night. Yeah, consistency is important, but I'm not playing Bork tonight. Bork the Pixie. I'm playing Vast Listen, the author. Wahaha. She told me the recipe was best found. There we go. She told me the best recipe was found in the index under the name Communion Loaf. She also said not to worry about the rest of the book, as it was just old religion mumbo jumbo. I thanked her and left. The recipe was simple to find. It is contractions, everybody. Take your first shot of the evening. I think we're only going to go for like 3 or 4 of these drinks, because any more than that, and oh my, the amount of alcohol poisoning. So, contractions! The recipe was simple to find. It's even fairly simple to make. The ingredients, on the other hand, are very rare. Alright, let's read this one again. The recipe was simple to find. It's even fairly simple to make. The ingredients, on the other hand, are very rare, unless you used to be an adventurer. Period. Neat. Capital W. There we go. The ingredients, on the other hand, are very rare, unless you used to be an adventurer. Alright, that needs to be a period. Delete that, make unless a capital. The ingredients, on the other hand, are very rare, unless you used to be an adventurer. Who knew these wyvern wings would come in handy in the kitchen as well as the forge? The recipe does mention that additional information about it is in Chapter 3 on page 289. I will read it tomorrow after work. Contraction, everybody. There's your second shot for the day. I'll read it tomorrow after work. No, I think I'll read it after work tomorrow, is how that needs to go. Yay. Yeah, you see this stupid little control piece right here? I don't know how to stop it from showing up, and it bugs the hell out of me. Every time I do an edit or a copy paste, it shows up. Alright. This whole section, the syntax of it, I'm not entirely certain of as to this. It kind of, yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure out if I should do that as actual description of what's going on, walks into the library, blah blah blah, or just leave it as a a journal entry. I think for right now it's journal entry, but we'll see what happens. What in the ever-loving fig tree? I don't know. All right, 8th of Anil. This fucking book. I'm taking it back to the library tomorrow. Recipe be damned. Should be a period. Recipe, capital R. 9th of Anil. I'm stuck with the book. When I tried returning it, the knife. I'm stuck with the book. When I tried returning it, the nice elf at the returns desk said that it was never in the catalog, and that they didn't have any stacks in the rear of the library. Just the shelves of old books that are restricted for research, and not many of those. When I politely asked her to look again, she did, and came back a few minutes later with the library's matron. No, Mr. Maxwell, we have never had a book like that in our collection, nor have we ever had a gnome working here, she said. Frustrated, I left. Then I noticed the statue of Esmeralda, the gnome goddess of knowledge, at the entrance. The librarian had looked just like... Well, fuck, I said out loud, and the damned statue winked at me. I'm now stuck with a 29,000-page book about the elders/old gods. At least the recipes don't look too bad. Contractions, everybody! Here's shot number 3. I'm so glad I don't drink anymore. Oh, so glad I don't drink heavily anymore. At least the recipes don't look too bad. I'll have to try and decipher some of the religious BS so that I don't attract them in addition to the new ones that already plague me. 11th of Anil. Today I tried the new recipe. Contractions. There's shot number 4, if you're keeping track. 11th of Anil. Today I try the new recipe. I've tried to remove all the religious mumbo-jumbo that the book claims are needed. Today I... Alright. Today I tried the new recipe. I've tried to remove all of the religious mumbo-jumbo that the book claims claims are needed or is needed? Claims is I think it's is. There we go. I've tried to remove all of the religious mumbo-jumbo that the book claims is needed to make the dough rise properly. I removed all of when I read it out loud and the word isn't there, we know it needs to be added. I removed all of the silly gestures, the meaningless words of power, the circles of sanctity, and everything else. More notes later, after the test is done. Fuck this book. The kitchen is a mess. I had to pull out all of the old cleaning charms. I had to pull out all of the old cleaning? Really? Cleaning? Clean. I had to pull out all of the old cleaning charms that I haven't used since Tristan was around. I wonder how he was doing. I guess I'm going to have to research the recipe more. 12th of Anil. Stupid, stupid, stupid. This is all stupid. Don't mind the mouth noises, I'm just thinking Swedish Chef at the moment. Glug glug. Vast is having contractions. Word heard. Thanks, Trenches. Dealer, nice to see you, man. that the book claims is needed. That's the book. Oh, yes. Ducky. Yep, yep. Okay. I need to take a glug of something. Ducky, that's awesome. Thank you. All right. 20th of Anil. It has taken a week of studying this damnable book, but I think I have it down now. Some of the mumbo-jumbo was, and some of it wasn't. I haven't had to remember this much magic lore since I trained the kid. That wasn't actually that long ago, was it? No, Maxwell, it wasn't. Only a chapter or 3. 23rd of Anil. Ah, dear Lord. Contractions, everyone. That's number 4. I suggest you stop drinking now. 23rd of Anil. I've manufactured an outdoor kitchen for my experiment. If things work properly, then I won't have anything to worry about. If things blow up again, then it won't have been well worth... If things blow up again, then it will have been worth the effort. I keep thinking that will have should have a proper contraction, but it doesn't. All right. If things blow up again, then it will have been well worth the effort. Either way, Martha is appreciative. More later. All right. Ducky said, Mad Ducks. I call him Ducky. Additionally, if you want wordless background tracks to play quietly in the background while you talk, I know a guy. Yes, you do. So do I. Trenches, glug. Word, the instrumental. Brain not smart. Yeah, Ducky, we know. Your brain wasn't smart last night either. Will have does not have a contraction. I know. Yes, let us invent a contraction. Will have. How about willn't? WILL''NT. Willn't. Okay. Martha is appreciative. More later. Well, it worked. Mostly. The bread is good, but not divine. Upon eating the first slice, I felt buoyed inside and slightly better. Alright, wait, what? Okay. Well, it worked, mostly. The bread is good, but not divine. Upon eating the first slice, I felt buoyed inside, and slightly better. But the effect faded after a few minutes. It would appear that this is some kind of divine healing bread. Contractions! No drinking this time. It's been 4. I'll add the original, and my version thereof, to my slowly growing bread book. Now what to do with the other 6 loaves? Ducky says, Hey, I'll have you know that I was not responsible for a single spontaneous fire last night. For me, that's a record. You are free to express how impressed you are with my unfathomable self-control. This is true. In D&D last night, Ducky did not start any fires. Unintentionally. The rest of the party at D&D, Bork didn't start any fires. But I seem to recall a couple of other people letting loose, but we're not going to go there. Alrighty, this chapter is done. Done, I say. And on to 30. Yeah, chapter 30, and it's 8:30. Wow. Alrighty. First, we are going to do the review. Tobacco, ignore once, but who's Stetson? Let's. Alrighty. Oh, this is a short one. 30. The Not Immortal Blacksmith. Interlude. Military Intelligence 2. Yeah, my uncle had a few things to say about military intelligence, but that's a story for another day. 8th of Anil, first month of snow. 2109 years since the new gods came. Sir, we may have a problem. What is it, Lieutenant? I was going through the personal mail before dispersal of the troops as required. Get to the point. Sorry, sir. The heretic sent us a letter, sir. Well, crap. Read it to me. To whomever it may concern. Get on with it. Send the kid the proper support to win your little war. I don't want to have to come and sort it out for you. Maxwell. P.S. What is with that goat? What goat is he talking about, Lieutenant? Some vaguely annoying creature that has been helping Liam. I don't get it either. Very well, I suppose I need to go have a talk with the Council of Generals. We don't need a repeat of the Tristan incident that the heretic is alluding to. Do I want to know what happened? The short story is the Council of Generals at the time disbanded after half of them died in mysterious incidents. I will have to give the Council the full version. Contraction. Tristan the hero? The heretic's teacher and mentor? That Tristan? He was a hero, perfect in every way. Far from it. He was a drinker to the extreme, smoked some noxious herb called tobacco that made him cough something fierce, poured like you wouldn't believe, and was all sorts of disrespectful. But the history books say none of that. Of course not. Would you like our greatest hero to have flaws? He was just a man, like you and me. Just coarse and violent to the extreme. One general, whose name is lost to history, demanded he be shown Tristan's hand cannon. Tristan obliged by shoving the thing in his face and firing it. The general was dead before he hit the floor. Not surprising, since he was missing the top of his head. No wonder the heretic is so bad, with him as a role model. No, the heretic has a heart. Tristan really didn't. He was a man-killer, in every form of the word. The heretic was his only friend, according to the actual records anyway. Okay, one day I will be allowed... Contractions, the bane of my existence. Okay, one day I'll be allowed to read some of those reports, yes? If you live long enough, send Liam his letter. I have people to talk to. December 13th, 1893, Denver, Colorado, USA. Achoo! Tristan sneezed, his black Stetson falling off with the force of it. Sorry, honey, don't know what got into me. Let's get back to our shenanigans before your husband gets home. Yeah, Tristan was not the best person in the world, but he's a fun person to write. Okie dokie, I can tell right now we're gonna need to do this. Find, replace, yes, replace all. 18, holy crap. It's only 3 pages. 1,000 words. Why were there 13 of those? And now we review. Okay. Ignore that. Finally, Beastmen. I think we'll split them today. Day, comma, tomorrow. 9. Ignore all. Ignore all. Hanks. Alrighty. Swing back to the top. 31. The Not Immortal Blacksmith. Interlude. The Kid. 5. 49th of Kusha, the month of harvest. 2,109 years since the new gods came. 3 days has been pushed back to a week. That does not need a comma. We squat in place. When this is over, villagers will probably flock here as we have assembled a nice little settlement. 50th of Kusha. Things are progressing nicely. The general staff will be moving in soon. I will finally be relieved from this duty and return to fighting. It can't come too soon. I wonder what they will think of the goat. I'm sure that's wrong. Can't remember the... Much of a problem I have with contractions, you'd think I'd actually... Search. Dale. Searching, 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 getting results. Come on, downloading results. Silly computer, something went wrong. Of course it did, you Oh my lord, excuse me. I wonder what they'll think of the goat. First of Anil, first month of snow. Departure has been pushed back another week or more, but the needed supplies... Departure has been pushed back another week or more, but the needed supplies for our journey haven't reached us. I wonder who is screwing up now. Whose should be a contraction. I wonder who's screwing up now. New soldiers are showing up by the platoon now, and are being introduced to what we call Max's way. I wonder who's screwing up now. New soldiers are showing up by the platoon, and are being introduced to what is called Max's way, or more often, heretic style. I blame the Demonia expats for the second name. Should be Demonian, not Demonia. The Demonian expats for the second name. 2nd of Anil. Aside from payroll being short, things are going well. I'm worried that the normal winter will freeze us in at this point. The waiting is starting to kill the morale of the troops. Luckily, the Bard is still around and helping. Our normal contingent of camp followers has increased greatly, being joined by some more openly obvious ladies of the night. I'm not so certain that I approve. 5th of Anil. The night ladies have approached me, asking for a building from which to run their brothel. After consulting with my superiors, they have been allowed to select a site and begin construction. 9th of Anil. Those women can build. It's been 3 days, and they have a fully built and staffed bar in brothel. Goddess help us all. The general staff has been witnessed visiting the place already. Whatever. 11th of Anil. I've received word from the grapevine that several members of the Council of Generals have resigned. I have also... Really? Contractions, everybody. I've also finally received a reply from Master Maxwell. Correction. I'm glad he is well. Really? Really? In a row? I'm glad he's well and learning the new trade. I also now have a messaging stone thingy, should I need to ask him anything. It's like a phone, but magic. 14th of Anil. We have been properly resupplied. We leave in 3 days. We'll be making supply drops every 3 miles. It will be slow going with the snow starting to fall in earnest. Finally, we get to give some payback. 15th of Anil. More poo has rolled downhill. My cadre of corporals have been promoted to sergeants. I hope they like it. That does not need to be italicized. That does. I now command 400 men, consisting of humans, half-bloods, beastmen, and others. The number of support staff is more than double that. Right, and I have been told by military personnel that for every soldier in the field, it takes like 10 people to keep them there. So only doubling the number of of support staff is kind of surprising. But then again, they're cheap, so go figure. Why are they cheap? Because I said so. The number of support staff is more than double that. When we leave, most of the followers will be left behind. 17th of Anil. We leave in the morning. Praise the goddess, the goat is gone. 18th of Anil. The wind is cold as we march into the Demon's Desert, a place of chill and frost. A place that was cursed many, many millennia ago, when the old gods still roamed the land and offered succor to their when the old gods still roamed the land and offered succor to their followers and children. Something about a war with beings beyond the veil caused all this? I don't know. I'm not a scholar or a priest. That should be a period. At least I don't have to recapitalize the I. Every 3 miles we stop, place a marker, and leave supplies. It has been 1 day. The cold chills to the 19th, 18th. Okay. And that's that. Wow, I make strange vocalization. It has only been 1 day. The cold chills to the bone. If not for the practice from our last march, my troop would still be... If not for the practice from our last march, my troop would be just as frozen as the rest of the army. The cold disease, hypothermia again, is coming on strong, and frostbite is running rampant. I have offered the captain our assistance with warming. My mages can manage it. The captain accepted my offer. We will heat the army now. 19th of Anil. The mages are being tested. We don't have enough of them to run shifts. At the end of each day, they almost fall down from exhaustion, but no one is getting sick. Oh, I feel like I got something in my throat. Give me a second here, folks. Hmm. So it used to be the microphone headset I wear has a thing where if you flip the boom up, it turns the microphone on mute. That isn't working. I fixed it once before by reinstalling the updates for it, but it's gone belly up again, which is rather annoying. All right, back to the book. But no one is getting sick. Okay, the mages. The mages are getting the best of the food, better than the officers even, and the warmest tents. 21st of Anil. Are we in Anil? Anil. Oh, yeah, it was Kusha last month. Okay. Sorry. Had to check just to make sure my brain wasn't dribbling out my ears. 21st of Anil. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Grumble, grumble, contraction. 3 days. 3 days and we are almost there. We've stopped early to rest. Tomorrow, we battle the General of the West. I think I'm just going to get rid of that. 20th of Anil. Marax? Oh, what is wrong with my throat? If it doesn't get better real quick, we may just end today after an hour. It's getting annoying. Okay, let's edit this before we read it. Because I don't want to be interrupting myself. 20th of Anil. Merrick's? I think we should invite Hank for dinner. His partner is out on an overnight scouting assignment. General Grapestein smiled a toothy smile. Very good, my lord. Marax shared his lord's grin, all 7 eyes open and shining. Shall I inform the kitchen, or will we be dining the old way? Oh, God, that's annoying. Hank was dressed in his finest clothing, bright red hose and emerald green tunic, brightly polished belt of steel links around his waist. His foppish hat even had peacock feathers tucked into the band. He stepped into the throne room and gawked at the decorations. Bright cheery ribbons hung from the ceiling, bunting was hung from the walls, the table from the grand banquet hall was set in the middle of the room, covered in meat dishes of so many different types that he couldn't name them. On the center of the table was an ornately decorated silver tray, almost the length of a man, lined with some sort of lettuce-like leaves. As he stared in amazement, he heard Marak say, "Ah, the centerpiece has arrived." Something crashed into the back of his head, and he fell still. 21st of Anil. General, the enemy is camped for the evening. Why did I read it like that? General, the enemy has camped for the evening. They will likely assault us in the morning, Bob said, striding into General Grapestein's throne room, being met by silence. He looked around. The room was empty. No Grapestein, no Marax, no hangers-on. Just the oversized table from the banquet hall, covered in the remains of a feast, and many, many puddles of the brownish wine the demons loved. He stepped forward and into a puddle of wine that had congealed around a finger that was wearing Hank's wedding band. Bob shook his head in disgust. What the hell are they thinking? He asked before logging out. All right. I'm going to run just one more spelling check on this just to make sure. Okay, I guess it does want to have a comma after tomorrow there. I don't know why. And this next one may be the last one. We will see how it works out. 32. What in the ever-loving fig tree? I wonder at my writing some days. I think anyone who writes has that feeling. Oh, excuse me. 32. The Not Immortal Blacksmith. Interlude. The Kid. 6. Or should I say VI? VII. IX. X. XYZ. Alright, sorry. 22nd Vanille. First month of snow. 2,109 years since the new gods came. Oh, my lord, excuse me. Chinese food. Right there. Alright. I am rereading before I read out loud just to fix some of these more glaring typo mistakes. Alright, 4:30 a.m. I was awoken around an hour ago by a soft popping noise and the sound of someone falling a foot or so to the floor. A cast of flash stunned my assailant until I had my sword out and at his throat. He looked to be around 19 years or so, wearing mage's robes, and had a tear-stained face. To the best of my memory, our conversation went like this. Me. What are you doing in my tent? Him. I want to kill the bastard demon who killed my husband. Me. Wait, what? Him. Did I stutter? Did I mumble? I think that works better. Him. Did I stutter? Did I mumble? Or aren't you the hero? That one doesn't quite work. There we go. We'll just get rid of or. There we go. Him. Did I stutter? Did I mumble? Aren't you the hero? Me. Yes. No. Wait. Your husband was killed by a demon? Then join the army. Him. Taking a deep breath. Grief-riddled. Him taking a deep, grief-riddled breath. No. You don't seem to understand. Last night I came back to the Demon General's throne room and found the remains of my husband. No big deal. It's just a game. I jacked out to talk to him, and he was dead. I wish I could just read through all this and then go back and edit, but my ADHD, OCD, blarded-barded-er, schmearded-bearded won't let me. Me, looking this man straight in the eyes. A game? You think this is a game? This definitely needs to be italicized. I was reborn here after I died in Chicago in 1987, and you think this is some stupid game? Him. Wait, huh? What? That needs to be a question mark. Me. Did I mumble or stutter? Him. But I'm from 2089. This isn't a deep dive MMORPG? It should be this. Oh, THG. Him. But I'm from 2089. This This isn't a deep dive MMORPG? Me, whatever that is, no. This is a real world with real people doing real things. Now I understand. Now I un- da, 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 da. Now I understand why Master Maxwell hates heroes so much. You're all idiots. I think I'm gonna not capitalize idiots there, because he's just kind of eh. Clickety clack keyboard. Him looking like he's about contractions, everybody. Him looking like he's about to vomit as tears start falling. No, 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 fuck, fuck, fuck. I'm going to kill that fucking programmer when I get back home. Tell me we're... Tell me we're the only pre-alpha testers for a new game? Cool. Not tell us that it's... Not tell us that it's actually a doorway to an alternate world? Not a cool DDVR? No. Suing you for wrongful death isn't enough. Not after what you had me do here. Me. What now? Him. Call me Bob. The programmer said that my husband and I should join in on the demon side. Work with them to see how the battle controls work. Even gave us new spells to work on perfecting. Deep sobbing breath. But now I know. Now I know that I wasn't just killing pixels in 400k clarity. I was killing people. That bastard is dead. I'm going to rip his intestines out through his asshole and hang him with them. Me, slightly taken aback, hand clutching my sword hilt more tightly. Okay, how about I take you to the commander's tent, and you can tell him all about things. Once that's done with, you can join me on the front lines? Bob, after taking a few more calming breaths. Okay, I think I can do that. When we kill this ass-clown demon, then we kill this ass-clown demon, General Grapestein. And now I go back through. And that was hard, not doing the edits as I went. Especially this bit here. New spells. Why did I use apostrophes instead of quote marks? There we go. And why? General Grapestein awoke from a bloated slumber with a sneezing fit. I showed Bob the way to the command tent and led him inside. I left him there to explain himself. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with this kind of shit anymore. Just got the word from command. Bob will be joining my mages today, and boy is he pissed. 22nd of Anil, half hour before sunrise. We wait behind the crest of a hill, preparing to storm the castle. The demon horde is unprepared, as Bob was unable to deliver the news of our imminent attack. I would say that this will be easy, but Master Maxwell taught me better. The word is being passed. Charge at the second horn call. I hope I live to see the end of the day. 23rd of Anil, evening. In a large pavilion, in a large camp, located just outside of the range of demon fire from General Grapestein's castle, a conversation is taking place. No, sir, I didn't see him after our charge was rebuffed, Corporal Anderson said, tears running from his eyes. He didn't even try to wipe them away. The last thing I saw before the ice giants charged us was him, the cat, the demon, and the new guy, Bob. chasing some multi-eyed demon down a side passage. Very good, Corporal. You followed your orders properly and retreated when you were able. I wish we had more men like you. Did you retrieve his journal? Yes, milord, here it is. Anderson held out a thick and rough-looking book, with unknown runes on the cover. He once told me the runes were words of power, and not to touch them. We will deal with it, Corporal, the unnamed MI officer sighed. And for what it's worth, Corporal, I am sorry for the loss of your commander and friend. At least we all gave him the best chance we could. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, Anderson responded. I want in on the forlorn hope, sir. I want to lead it. We aren't there quite yet, Corp. An explosion from the castle shook the camp, followed by several lesser explosions. What in the eight hells? The MI officer yelled, looking for his sword that had fallen off the interview table. Corporal, return to your post. A moment before the boom. Holy shit, 2,200 words? What was I thinking on this chapter? A moment before the boom. One of Grandpa's anime gave, Bob started. You watch that Japanese cartoon bullshit? Liam asked. Shut up and listen. I have a spell that should open this door. Just give me a minute, Bob said. Okay, fine. Where did you get it from? Liam asked, shaking his head. The anime Slayers, Bob replied, before chanting something in Japanese and pointing his hand at the sealed great door in the throne room. And pointing his hand at the sealed great door to the throne room. A beam of reddish energy shot from his hand, hitting the door and exploding on contact. An explosion that caused the castle to shake, and a mushroom cloud to form above it. If anybody's seen Slayers, they know exactly what spell that was. If you haven't, just allow me to say that part of its name has to do with dragons and killing them. Yes, trenches, Bob. Poor Bob. Covered in dust and debris, the party of heroes charged into the throne room. The ceiling was riven, open to the sky. What was left of the decor was in tatters. Falling rubble had miraculously crushed most of the demons in the room, but not all. General Grapestein was in the middle of standing up from his throne, while his assistant, Marak, stood to one side, mouth agape. Ah, the hero's party has, General Grapestein began, only to be cut off mid-sentence. Shut it, you lard-ass loudmouth, Liam yelled as he summoned and threw a lightning spear into the general's guts. Bob is one of yours. Bob, this one is yours. I'll get the other one. Everyone else, guard the doors. This needs to be... There we go. Bob, a wicked smile on his face, strode towards the demon. I bet it was your idea to eat Hank, to kill him and gobble it up, wasn't it? Bob drew a long, barbed whip, one that General Grapestein had given him, in fact, and sent magical energy coursing through it. I bet you made him suffer. No pain and suffering, General Grapestein said. It ruins the flavor of the meat. Just a club to the head and bleeding out the veins. No pain at all. He looked into the rage on Bob's face and smiled a cruel smile. Actually, let's see now. I think that should be up there. I think that works better. Should be a cruel little smile. No pain, No suffering? Bob yelled. You expect me to believe you? The whip lashed out, catching Grapestein across the left leg, tearing the flesh and searing the bone. Liam drew his sword and charged Marax. Goddess, you look like a Gwar understudy, he said under his breath and swung his sword. Marax ducked under the blade and freed his barbed whip from his belt. You are much too young for this fight, boy. I'm older than I look, asshole, Liam replied, stabbing at the demon. Be that as it may, mortal, I'm much older and more experienced than you will ever be, Marax said, jumping back and cracking his whip in Liam's face. Indiana did that better, Liam said, armored left hand sneaking out and grasping the end of the whip, ignoring the pain from its magical barbs. He'll never be as good as he is. He pulled as hard as he could, hoping to disarm the demon. But such was the power of his pull that Marax himself was jerked forward along with the whip. What the? Marax yelled as he was yanked forward. He never finished his question as Liam shoved his sword through the demon's mouth and out the back of its skull. Ah, that's why this is 2,200 words long. Enough is enough, General Grapestein thought, finally pulling his wickedly barbed sword from his belt. Your usefulness is at an end, human. I will take your life now. Okay, actually, I think this does need that there. Bob stepped back, readying another strike. You think so? Good luck trying, asshat. Your whip hurts, yes, but I heal much faster. And to me, pain is a minor inconvenience that I quite enjoy, General said, smiling even wider than before. A half step and a thrust, and his sword point pierced Bob's left knee. Grapestein twisted the blade to free it. Bob screamed in pain and fell to the floor. You see, Bob, pain clears and focuses the mind. Grapestein sniffed the air and shook his head. Change in tenses is not a good thing, and shook his head. Well, once you learn to see through it, that is. He took another half step forward and stabbed Bob in the right thigh. Lying on the floor, bleeding and in pain, Bob cried out in his mind, Anything. I will do anything. Please, someone, anyone. I will do anything. Just help me. From somewhere in the deep void, a voice responded, Very well. As Liam pulled his sword from Marax's already dissolving corpse, he yelled, Hey, Bob, you done over there, buddy? A flow of power seeped into Bob's body. He felt it burn out from his core to the... He felt it burn from his core to the tips of his fingers and toes. His legs screamed in pain as the wounds healed. The pain seemed to take an eternity to subside, but it was, in reality, only a fraction of a second. He slowly regained his feet, body glowing from the power it now contained. General Grapestein stepped back in horror from the glowing, power-infused human standing before him. What? What in the unholy hells? Bob smiled at the demon. Apparently, I know how to ask for help. Someday the gods of this world may forgive you for what you've done, but I never will. Strange words. Words of power. Words not heard on this world since its creation appeared in Bob's mind, and he chanted them aloud. Va droidchech na cruese si a melchech demon chaschesach. Baskachad. Liam slowly turned towards the sound of chanting and stood staring, mouth agape, at Bob's glowing form, hand outstretched and palm forward. Could be arm outstretched. A large beam of multichromatic energy pulsed forth from Bob's hand, striking General Grapestein full in the chest. The demon's scream of agony shook the castle to its foundation, and Grapestein slowly, painfully melted, much akin to a candle placed in a hot oven. That was amazing, Liam said, eyes wide and mouth agape. Where did you... In my time of need, Bob wheezed. I called for help, he wheezed again, and something, the magic, I think, answered me. He coughed. I'm not feeling well. I need to jack out. Goodbye, Liam. He coughed again. Bob made a gesture next to his head with his right hand and slowly faded from sight. Liam stared at the empty space where Bob had been. Holy shit. He shook his head a couple times, then yelled, Folks, we are leaving. His comrades in arms formed up around him, and they ran from the castle. Kocha looked through the large and well-bound book. So there's no magic in this world? A wizard is right out, then. How about a ranger? I think the best bet would be the Great White Hunter class, Big G said. With the Faithful Hound perk. You can even have an... Sorry, I didn't put in a pause there as appropriate. I think the best bet would be the Great White Hunter class, Big G said. With the Faithful Hound perk, you can even have an animal companion. Sounds good to me. So, ranged weapons use... should be dexterity. Sounds good to me. So, ranged weapons use dexterity, correct? Then I need to put this 18 in that so I can hit, Coaches said. That would be for the best, I think, Big G replied. Whoa, did you see that? Coaches suddenly asked, sitting up straight. See what? Big G asked, looking up from the full-color rule book. Viewing Stone, go back 30 seconds, Coach commanded. Watch this. The pair of gods watched the fight between Bob and Grapestein. What was that? Kocha asked. The wellspring of magic, Big G said, shrugging. It does that sometimes when it gets angry at someone. In this case, I bet it was because the demons siphoned off some of its power to send one of their own to the other world to instigate their plan for summoning their own hero with VR equipment. Seems the wellspring didn't like losing some of itself in the process. It can do that? Kocha asked in a horrified voice. Oh yes, it can be petty like that. There was one time Gob decided to try and pee in it. Thought it would be funny. He was out of action for half a millennia, Big G replied, then frowning said, I miss him. Alright. Past tense. Frowned. Big G replied, then frowned. I miss him. Okay, so tell me about this darkest Africa place my character was supposedly exploring, Kocha said, moving the conversation back to something less depressing. There we have 6 pages. Well, 5 and a bit. 2,241 words. And yes, this is the first introduction of Humans and High-Rises. A fantasy game for gods and eldritch beings. And you know what we forgot to do at the beginning of this? We forgot to do the spelling and grammar check. Okay, Tear Stained. I think we will put a dash here. Dive. Resume. There. Demons. Commanders. Nor all. Nor all. Thank you, sir. Mid-sentence. Generals. Yours. Two. It's to its. It's to its. Demons to demons. And we're going to ignore that one because it is used the proper there. For once. And we're going to ignore multi. It's to its of agony. I think we can ignore that. So, it's to its losing. So, alrighty. Oh dear. Missing proofing tools. Text in Scottish Gaelic is not being checked. Do you want to download proofing tools and future updates? I think I'm just going to close that. Very interesting that the computer actually knew what language I was typing in there. Holy crap, 917. Let's have a quick look-see at what how long the next chapter is. Yeah, I think I'm going to read this next chapter. Actually, no, I'm not, because this is a new storyline. Alright, folks. I apologize, but I think that's it for the night. My throat is starting to feel very uncomfortable and scratchy. So I think this is going to have to be it. Thank you for coming. Dealer! Bye-bye, dealer. I think this has to be all for the night. My throat scratchy, icky, bad. Yeah, we've already gone for an hour and 20 minutes. Night, trenches. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Don't die. Toaster baths aren't a real... No, they are a real thing. Don't succumb to the toaster bath. And we will see you all next week. Same goat time, same goat station. Nighty-night, everybody.